think I double-clicked my microphone button somehow. Well, whatever. I forgot the joke I was gonna go with. Let's just play some Caves of Cud. The last time I was playing, we were in Bethesda Susa. 6 strata deep. We had actually gone into a few close situations, but we're still kicking. I have 1 thermal grenade. I should fix that. I now have 10 thermal grenades. Hopefully that's enough. Right. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna look at. What does my reputation look like with the people at the bottom of this place? Turn 4, not quite good enough. I'm gonna head right back out of here. It burns. Rule with a square cut from a precious cerulean marble. Some ruins. We have discovered the Polygon Damrod. I am leaking bloody salt water. Kind of a lot of it, actually. Stuff's not leaking, is it? Doesn't seem like it. More ruins. Discovered Damrod Monagon. Or Monagon. Shells and being. A bullet shot into the puffer's stem. Shrine to Polydoc II, spouse of Shatara. Throughout 4535 before Reshef, Polydoc II wreaked havoc on all of the scientist theocracy of Tarkova, shattering all the glass in the homes of apes and newly sentient beings. Became known as the Tarkova Terror. Oh, I know where that is. Genius, they said it couldn't be done. The alternative is remote power, but to stay here, but I have little to the base range. Course B 1728 times, 3rd edition. I was greater than. Alright, where was that place? Right over there. Pretty easy to get to, actually. Oh hey, Scholarly Frog. Glad to know that at least I have some production values that are worth a damn. I really do appreciate it. Appreciate it so much, in fact, that I'm gonna remember that I have a shoutout feature. But you didn't expect that. There we go, I actually typed it right. And how you doing? I'm just here. You know, reading books and stuff. Light you described. Hit the completely wrong button. Where was it? There it is. Past, decompassed, dead, dead-like. Intriguing. So for some reason there's a lot of void spiders here. On the one hand, yeah, it is kind of disappointing that you don't get like 6 pages per book of just absolute gibberish, but then on the other hand, I don't think anyone was reading all of them at that point. Like, you read a couple of them and it's like, yeah, they're pretty much all gonna be like that. It's a little bit more exciting when you only get a little bit. Horn kinda works that way too. And pizza. Steak. I don't know. Right, I have to talk to that guy. I have a secret. You muse over the secret with Superb and gain some insight. That reminds me, I never did use that, all those channel points I had. Although, I think there's still some books that do generate the old way. It just has to be unique books. I think I have one of those here. You know, like the relic books that give you a skill and stuff like that. Those should still generate the whole thing, but it doesn't look like I have one. It's just a bunch of regular stuff. Not sure if I want to hand them in or keep stockpiling them is the other thing. I'm level 21 now, so levels are gonna start getting slower, but it really takes until like level 30 before it really slows down. I mean, you say no one was gonna pay for it, I could have bought 4 of those. Just decided not to because that seemed a little, what's the word? Mean's not the right word. Silly? Because if I was going to use them, I was going to drop them back to back. Now I can't really do that. So consider yourself lucky. Oh hey, chem cells are worth 5 each. Those are relatively cheap and I'm pretty sure I can make more. I've got like nearly 20 of them. Not slightly more than 20. I don't know. One, 2, 3, 4. And maybe change it to a dramatic reading of any lore. Not exactly sure how you'd word it to be very concise. Not really good at that part of talking. Not really good at most parts of talking, as I found out. But enough complaining about me. That's 30 points. I need 50, I think. Look up here. Spin. There we go. Now they like me because I threw all my batteries down the well. Also, there's forgotten ruins right outside of the stilt, apparently. I just showed up here to change the music. You found our treasure? Thank you, Moon King. Not allowed to call me that. With the help of artists to whom the seers have described them. Stun Gas Miner in Mark 1. What's a skill I haven't really been using much? Emit Pulse. Area of 2x2 centered around myself. How does that work? A 3x3 would be one tile away from me. A 2x2, would that be like an arbitrarily big square of like this? Or is it like 2 tiles out? If it's 2 tiles out, then it should work at this range. Yeah, it does work like that. Does not seem to have slowed him down at all. I cast fire. Shrine to Yahim II. Deep in the glassblower's aristocracy of Dazawar, Yahim II stumbled upon a clan of trees performing a secret ritual. Because of her desiccated visage, they fiercely rebuked her and declared her a villain to her kind. Trees do not like Yahim II, apparently. Alright, back to the stilt. Got different levels of atomic excitement, is one way to put it. Deep in the wilds of the glassblower's oligarchy of Ubad, Yahim III discovered Kimrod. There, she befriended dogs and painted pictures of beasts and monsters with flaming suns. Nice. Traveling alone in the astrologist's theocracy of Kar, Polydoc met a computerized version of himself. For the rest of Polydoc's life, he always kept some oscilloscopes hidden on his person. Actually, do I have all that much to trade right now? Do I have a plaster for jerking? Get rid of that shield. Flamethrower I'm gonna hold on to. You know, like a regular sun, but more plasma fire, kind of. No, I don't know what the difference is either. So I have 5 floating glow spheres. I get all of those. Yeah, I probably have enough stuff to be worth selling, so let me just put all my trading stuff on. Which brings me up to 23. Do I have anything else? I feel like I had at least one more thing. It doesn't seem that way. Ooh, neutron flux. should be able to afford it. Yeah, there we go. I have acquired the very dense juice. Do not drop it. Ooh. Deep in the astrologist bureaucracy of Kar, Polydoc discovered Twazoshan not. There he befriended mysterious strangers and built a glass gazebo. And sultans in this run are way more interesting than the usual ones. Usually they just stab each other with glass shards. Sometime in 4591 before Reshef, after a bout of Iron Shank, the Sultan of Kud disappeared. Because of Polydoc II's reputation for staring into mirrors, he was chosen as the successor. Yeah. Or trap each other in prisms. Or get captured by bandits and just kinda languish there for 3 years. Or just not do anything of note and die untitled. I don't know. Feels hard to complain when I say it out loud, because out of context that certainly sounds a lot more interesting. It is a very Kud thing to be like, oh, what's that? The rulers of this land centuries ago, or millennia ago, stabbed each other with glass shards. Again? It's just a little bit silly. Completely forgot what was here at the stilt this time. Nothing on this screen. I swear there was at least one other bookbinder. Was that the last character? Lots of Ichor merchants. Yeah, just yet another tale of someone going fucky-wucky with the time-space material or weave or whatever. But anyway, somewhere in Shagaruk, Yahim III had a dream that she was seasoning food, and that therefore she was obsessed with spices. No, I've had that dream. Except in the dream it's more like, I need to put seasoning in the hamburger, but I'm afraid of putting too much, so I put some in, and then I'm like, that's not enough, and then I put more in, and then I'm still like, that's not enough, but then I'm worried about putting too much, but I keep putting more spice in. And then eventually I wake up. One day I'll have that dream and I won't wake up. Terrifying. After striking a deal with robots, Polydoc II convinced them to help him found a workshop in the astrologist theocracy of Kar for the purpose of assembling contraptions based on glass. They named it the Workshop of the Prismatic. I forget what the fresh spiced tahine is. Probably just a health boost. Natural healing rate and quickness. One meal. Yeah, let's just buy all of that. turrets sell stuff too. Oh, right. I think it was in your stream where I saw that, where you could just buy a shit ton of batteries from turrets in towns and stuff like that. I don't remember if that was always the case that you could do that, or if it's just I've been ignoring it or what. These are seed spitter turrets, so they probably only have sap for sale. Oh, it was Wonder Pit, and no wonder. That guy seems to be in like every cut stream. Kind of a fanatic, really. This one's got about a bunch of lead slugs. That one's also a musket turret, so probably a bunch of those too. A 6-gun. Yup, it's bullets. Actually, I probably could use some bullets. Not sure what these turrets are gonna do with their dram of water, but as long as I have the bullets. I figure a chain gun turret would probably have a lot more. Better not tell this guy that I robbed all of his creations of their ammunition. Old folk PTSD kicked in for a second there. Cloning trap. Well, you know how it is. Just because you paid for something doesn't mean it was necessarily a fair trade. I know all about that from elementary school. Sell all the swords. You want a bit of leftover water to go with it. So I can feed the minigun. Chain gun. There's no minigun in the game, unfortunately. Sure would be cool if there was. Actually, wasn't there a gun seller in one of the screens here? I think it was up top. Yeah, right there, gunsmith. He should have bullets. It's like fuck all, goddamn. Alright, how about I go to that historic site over there? Also, how about I take off my trading overalls? Hey, how does the battery on that work? Oh right, it's a high capacity solar cell. Should be fine. Shit's on fire and I'm not the one who did it for once. got a shield around him, but he doesn't seem to be the one projecting it. Otherwise, he'd probably have an item that lets him do it. What is going on over there? Standing on top of anything. Oh, must have gotten trapped in there by this guy. Rah Soul Drinker, the goat folk shaman of Clan White Tongue. He is loved by the goat folk and disliked by apes for poisoning their fresh water. Now he's dead. Slender, painted, sturdy, plastifer sneakers. While wandering around the astrologist theocracy of Kar, Polydog stumbled upon a clan of mollusks performing a secret ritual. Because of its reputation for murdering someone by trapping her in a prism, they fiercely rebuked them and declared him a villain to their kind. I already knew that one. Somewhere in Shegaruk, Yahim III had a dream that she was seasoning food. Sturdy steel buckler. Technically an upgrade over a regular steel buckler. Greased steel boots. Got cleated boots. I've got crysteel boots. Greased is -5 move speed, and you may walk freely over webs. Don't think I have to worry about that one too much. This isn't the stat they use to determine whether you break out or not strength, which I actually do have a decent amount of strength right now. Well, then again, getting tripped over by sewage eels is also based off of strength, and that happened quite a few times. But anyway, level 22. You swell with the inspiration to name your blood-stained Isakari Sunveil. Of course it's the worst item I have equipped. Can't think of a witty name. Let's name it based off... its qualities. The Foreign Mask of the Jungle. What would be a good color scheme for this weird thing that I'm gonna sell right away? I'm gonna make it radiant. Engraved leather bracers. Of all the names it could have been, that one's definitely not the worst. We'll put it that way. While traveling through the glassblowers oligarchy of Ubad, Yahim III stopped at a market in Sharabal Den. At an obscure shop, she purchased a freezing bracelet and named it Freezing... let me try that again. Freezingika Yahim Friend. Then she went to a nearby tavern and lost it in a game of dice. She cursed the tavern and left the Sharabal Den. I always wonder why there wouldn't be one of those stories where, like, oh, lost it in a bed and then immediately killed the other guy to retrieve it or something. I always felt like that's something that should be possible to happen. Especially with the other stories like, oh, someone was told, hey, you should have a short break from being the Sultan of Kud because it's clearly stressing you out, and then they proceed to kill them with a knife. With their bare hands. Or mean words. Or by trapping them in a prism like all their other victims. But at this point I'm complaining just to complain. Where am I? Yeah, that is one of the sillier ones. We have finished a step. Travel to the historical site of Tarkavlar. Bunch of Naftali dudes. And the goat folk don't seem to be part of the historic site. The clockwork beetles, however, are. Alright, time to get killing. Wasn't any of my stuff rusting or anything, was it? Chem cell is destroyed, divine wafer is destroyed. Sower seed explodes, bird capacitor is destroyed. And it's just loot on the ground getting blasted. So I do not like these skunks. So I'm just gonna kill them. Chain gun turret and member of the people of the Spouse of Shatara. Chain gun turrets. It's a nice problem to have, actually. Stations. No, I don't think I really understand how EMP is supposed to work because I don't think it's supposed to be applying to stuff that isn't electrical in any way whatsoever, but it sure seems like it does. Maybe it just applies it regardless and then only really takes effect if it's electrical. Surface area. Can't help but consider the introduction of chaos to an etcher for decoration. Has the ability to be powered or modded to use power? Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, I use it again right here. Wrench is EMP'd, Agrees EMP'd, the helmet and the Yags are EMP'd. The trash, however, is not. Same thing with the tree and the ashes. Yeah, that's probably right. I'm pretty sure the bow cannot be modded to require electricity. So don't quote me on that, I'm really not sure. I'll test it on that one too. Freezing steel butcher knife. A spring turret grenade. Alright, try it again. Yeah, the bow does not get EMP'd. And that confirms it enough for me. Oh hey there, Jurl. How you doing? Does my inventory get EMP'd? That's a good question. Gigantic Isakar rifle. I'm somewhat tempted to actually collect this one. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Anyway, testing the EMP again. Does not seem to hit my own stuff. Either equipped or inventory. That is good to know for the future. Yeah, I was always very hesitant to grab that mutation because I was under the impression like, yeah, it'll disable anything my enemy has, but it'll also disable whatever I have, and, you know, tinkering is a very popular skill in this game. So it always made me think, it's probably not worth it. But now that I know it doesn't work like that, which really that could have been like a 5-second search on the wiki to figure that one out. Suddenly it's a whole lot more useful. Like say right here. Only thing I hit was the guy who wasn't even hostile to me. So good at this video game. Ouch. Is everything on fire? Again, everything's on fire. It's because of you. There's another one. Find the Polydoc II, Glass and Scarlet. At the Battle of Shurkapad Mesh, Polydoc II fought as a mercenary to subjugate Hermits. He wielded a stained dagger with such deftness that it became forever known as Steindika, the ruin of Hermits. Of exposure to the West. What if you were a little cub? But hold some fear, voice transmitting through panel, begone wayfarer. Him Yukwit. It appeareth of similar make to the last. Claim that all, before my kin. Wouldst trade? I am yet hopeful. That is my dearest hope that one day, and the properties of which I'd long since cut a hole in my head took hold. machine and folk, and you roll toward. After all we've accomplished. Or you know whatever they got. I prefer liquids. So does the Yearning Past, Volume 6. Above the dew point at which they impinge so that the mechanimist are yours to consume. Real fucking eldritch bullshit in this library. One night well tucked. The sun is 93 million miles from the shores of that ill-fated king does the written wisdom of Eshelstat II, High Priest to Lust. Grease stains his hands, commencing cross-check with the vividly brilliant red colors in all directions. This is a no laser area, thank you. Sawhander. No sawhanding. Right, now for more books. Let me just have a sip of coffee first. Alright, that was a little bit more than a sip. Start reading. Quite filigree, but it's quite. Its merits were contrasted with the artifact, and the high number never lasted for long. I do. Are you proud, new father? New father. Children, let's rejoice in the eyes of the spindle. You are the metamorphic Newman now. The scars of lava flow are legible as little sense as it was washed clean and the force of the Putus Templar to execute such an attack. Wrongly imagined themselves above, 75th edition. It's a lot of editions. My condition and outlook are both substantially improved. And my batteries ran out. It cooled its lips upon, never home else. Of thermal applique, thou art welcome here. Flames hang from his, Volume 6. These books can weather the salt pans and other low folk. Your doubt is irrelevant, my mission. When find many eyes, and friends to fungi need only step outside to harvest yeast, and friends build the id. In some fucking deep lore for reals. Their filament and hops, 3rd edition. I will not ease us when we know is of 3 dimensions, and furthermore, to understand any manifestation of energy in some cases staked their own way. To bathe. A star climb? You mean an ascent to the lips of her body? That is surprisingly kinky. Shell is coiled and soft, though persistent across the gulf. Is counted in a tomb. My dream self knew to avoid, and what boon this friend, Urk welcomes Slimp to Ezra. Still that even after an eternity, these lily pad folk fascinate by their aspiration for a dart to fit. More books. Perfect. It's path forward. Are you in the days before Abram? Moisture farmers are heightened to a short time ago a sea wave crested and broke it. But this is very lovely. I am grateful that you do find yourself inside one of them now. And what became of Tao? Of me? Of you? Right, she. I recognize some of these words. Boy, coiled lamb? Is it but red? Also, that was from Face, so does the second. Of Adam's Hydrogen, 2nd edition. Yes, outsiders quail at the seat of the aura and weaken unfriendly ones. And I'm carrying too much knowledge. I'm gonna have to make some more room for that. Don't need an extra one of these. A painted metal folding chair. In a cathedral ornamented with circuit boards, Yahim cemented her friendship with Mollusk by marrying Ginurfaklam. To show their appreciation, the Mollusk bestowed upon Yahim a wedding gift they called Wedika, Mollusk Favor. Do not need a memorial wedding chair. Yeah, that is a whole lot of rifle. Probably just teleport back to Gritgate and put that one away, because I am not making use of that for quite a while. Don't see any reason not to. You know, just leave some slime all over the place. They'll clean it up. Finally learn all of these that I left here, other than Beam Splitter and Point Defense Drone. By fancy box, do you mean the chest itself, or do you mean this thing bidding? Because if you're wondering, this is one of those boxes that instantly obliterates all nearby faction members of a chosen faction. You know, one of those ones that you can never decide on where to use because it always feels like it's not going to do enough. And then the one time you do need it, well, too late, you already use it to like explode 3 fish or something. I forget if you can use Metamorphic Polygel on those. They are theoretically very good, it's just, I always forget it's an option for when it does matter, and whenever it doesn't matter, it feels like I shouldn't use it. Petrified Steel Mace. Also have a lot of missiles. I should just put those away. It's a little bit of room cleared. Oh yeah, and everyone restocked their inventory. Radio powered. Very cool. Spiked. Also cool. Woolly. Sort of useful, I guess. Should keep that one too. I already know how to make these, right? Yes, I do. So what's that? It's a laser pistol. I don't think I need that. I completely forgot I had a mutation point. Can I increase Flaming Ray? I can. Damage goes from 11d4 plus 2 to 12d4 plus 2. It's a lot of d4s. And also the melee attack heat opponents by from, well, it goes from 22.d8 degrees to 24d8 degrees. Don't know why I added a point there. More fire. Base rank is 6, so I can increase this by another 4. That's a spicy meatball right there. 20 intelligence. Maybe shield slam next. That'll actually go really good with spiked. Spike up all of my shields, and then people are gonna start bleeding like crazy. Maybe. It's got lightly damaged somehow. It's gonna cost us 6 to repair it. Yeah, I think it's good for now. Reinforced and flexi weaved. Pretty good. That is true. Completely forgot that I can do that. $38 drams of water. Yeah, that is cheaper than a 6-bit. What's that you got there? We'll never know. It's probably a poison gas grenade mark too, actually. Or bullet? And you know what? Salve it up. Should check how many salves I currently have, actually. Got 8. Pretty good amount. Doesn't hurt to have one more. Alright. It always says there's hostile nearby, like every time on this floor. Oh, right, you just reminded me I should probably put that away. There's a couple of uses for it. There's one related to the clams out in the reef, but I understand if you don't want to get spoiled on exactly how that functions. There's leyline puppeteers that require it as fuel. It's like a 1 in 5,000 chance or something that it consumes it per turn. So you're not going to go through all that much of it, probably. But you do need to have some of them in the gloves to power them, and they are pretty strong. Alternatively, and this is more recommended if you have precognition or if you're playing Truekin, so you can just use Sphinx Salt injectors, you can use it in the cooking recipe, where there's a 10% chance that it instantly kills you, and a 90% chance that it gives you +1 armor value permanently. Which is pretty darn good. In general, it is also just very expensive, so it's not bad as a trading good. But I'm gonna keep it there for now, so nothing funny happens. You never know, maybe it'll explode at some point while sitting in that chest right there. Well, it's not gonna do that on its own, I'm just implying that, hey, fighting around here can get kinda crazy in that one part. I'll just remember to pick it up before the fight starts. Anyway, back to that historic site. And I forgot to take off the old stuff. It's in the trading stuff. Oh, hello again, Vetkin. How you doing? They're hungry. Let's actually make a nice meal. Fine wafer. And... bear jerky. We also add an erstwhile diaphanous wing. Every drop below 20% HP, you don't thirst for the next 12 hours. Small consolation prize for getting nearly beaten to death. It is a fairly similar type of game. Actually, now that I think about it. Isn't it? Aren't they part of the same publisher group now? So you actually can get both games bundled. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, it wasn't it Kitbox Games? Published both of them. At least I think that's what it was. I'm really not sure. Ooh, graffiti. Oh yes. I do love how expressive he is, encompassed with bright and polished. A lot of livid creepers around here. And we're lost again. Really should remember to put on that precinct navigator. should have went and talked to that guy about where the heck I am. Still over here. Don't see him. Oh, there he is. Doing a walking sim in CUD. No map travel. Yeah, that actually would be a pretty cool challenge run. And it would definitely mean that having access to a pickaxe right away would be a huge help. Either that or having like the claws mutation. I always wanted to make a run that actually makes good use of those, but it always feels very suboptimal. But maybe that's just me. Right. I was going to put the thing on my... I have 2 compass bracelets. These don't stack, do they? Or no, wait. That's not a compass bracelet, it's a wrist warmer. Funny enough, the only times I ever remember being stuck in an area is because the map screen would put me there when I enter a place. You know, like entering a canyon and then not having any exits anywhere, you're just in like a little box surrounded by rocks. A whole lot of rocks. I forget, isn't there one of these kind of navigator items that specifically says it doesn't stack with another one? I think it's a cybernetic actually. Which means I don't have to worry about it. Boosted boar. We have discovered Bara, Oak Village. Kill. Feathered plastifer bonnet. Jewel encrusted rifle. Nice. Don't think I went down to that spot just yet. Which, I am going to take a bathroom break. Be right back. I have returned. Mostly the same person as I was before. But anyways, deeper into the caves. Actually, did I finish exploring this level? I don't think I did. Right. I had picked up some books and then was over capacity, then I went back. Crossing into Brightjewel. The naming act is imponderable. Snipped and crushed. My water sister and cohort in Chrome. Bands have been something. Volume 6. Primordial soup to be orbited. Word on most things is obeyed. Big ol' slugs. Humble and valuable. Ask if asking. It's probably a bad idea. But Shrine to Polydoc II, Glass and Scarlet. Deep in the wilds of the Winter Eremites aristocracy of Harkamas, Polydoc II stumbled upon a clan of roots performing a secret ritual. Because of his transparent visage, they accepted him into their fold and taught him their secrets. Now we know where Harkamas is. It is in the river. Lots of robots down here. Actually, that does make me kind of concerned that one of the later historic sites I'm gonna run into over in the Moonstair is gonna be the damn robots again. This time I'll have to be better prepared. So far, the biggest downside to this character seems to be that just can't get my armor value good enough. Certainly doesn't help that something of mine got cracked by that robot. Which one specifically, I don't remember. Ah, cracked the thermal cask. It'll wear off on its own. But if I did repair it, that's a 6. Yeah. Could reinforce this. Should I wait until I find a better one? Because I know there's the, I'm not sure if it's called a high power thermocask. Something along those lines. That's basically just a better one. Maybe I should wait for that. If I find one, it's probably gonna be in like 3 sessions from now. Or it'll be immediately. Either way, it'll be fine. Lungs do not die even. Of Stonehem surrounds. I know nothing of each of these crooked lines signifies the movement of one of your faces. Now, cover them with bone and horn of plenty on a cushion to the violet shows the attitude of the algebraic tubers. Trauma of a foe. Sadly, once I return to my own heart high in her heart, you would have. A speaker from the elephantine spools in the kaleidoscope. And I'm carrying too much. Because I have a second thermocask. Damn it, I should have switched them before reinforcing it. Whatever. Now I have an extra 6. Is there anything I can do with that? No, I need a 7. I don't think FlexiWeave would be all that great anyways. 20 high explosive missiles. It's taking up 40 pounds of space. Maybe I should just disassemble those until I can get a missile launcher and then reassemble all of them. Do know how to make them. Only thing is disassembling all of these. I'll get all the ones back, sure, but the C and the D's, probably not. That being said, I've got plenty of C's, I've got plenty of D's. Nuts. Disassemble. Keep going. A landscape, tiny images of these. Nuts. The sun's light was shorn from a tinker's stencil. The result of the officer in charge, the man responsible for your assignment? Now let me explain. Felt Found Perf, Volume 8. My mind is lost to space and time, shall reveal all. The seedling knew. It's sort of like when prehistoric lizards would grow big sails to regulate their body temperature and you'd say, I mean no harm to their arm stumps as a poem. Weightier than her kin she. Little is known, to vanquish anyone who seeketh the light shall find it tinged with its magnetic lifeblood and vialed. The muse who rouses their hearts, unabridged. Britgate asked the Berephrimites about Argive's strange signal. Hey, Moon King. Said don't call me that. Interact with scrap clay mold. Mount, not mold. I? Who are you? What? Please do. We are family by choice. Come and go and may learn. If the thought form can affect only very few, but in the market, tetrafolded and stitched into geometric volume. And thence the span between Ursine. Oh, Elsefolder, this path you choose. Bedroom window looked due west, 1. Brave thoughts, Moon King. Whose exalted touch brought? So people must have followed you back away its edges and light a helical path. Rifling through the wet trash, piece together the clues to determine the location of Shirsapar. Proved to be strapped. No good can come to Joppa then. I am not until the pall of evening was cast, and then was cut into neat strips, salted and smoked. It needful to reconstruct. In fact, health is the fact of the finer qualities of astral matter. With the image of the settlement, thou must ask again, become worthier first. Breast, waist, and plump slopping cheeks. It's fine. Problem is, I'm always inscribing more disc. It's one saucy sounding book. This might be an issue. I'm being normalized against my will. Alright, managed to get out of there. Ooh, graffiti. Yeah, you could say it's kind of like a dungeon exploration game, except the dungeon is different every time. And if you feel like it, you can just say, fuck everything, I'm gonna go as deep as I can go. It's a lot of... what's the right term? Procedural generation. There's a whole lot of that stuff going on. All the lore, well, most of the lore changes, most of the places changes, most of the stuff you're gonna run into changes. It's very random. But back to the graffiti. Markings and etches in their still burnt flesh. What could it mean? Is Nape by a head? Seek the trunk at Ain Raj and renovated two of their patriarchs' deific betrayal in the village and retrieve Kindrish from her even. Usually there aren't this many books in most other places. Lots of books in this place though. 0th and 61 pp after. Be gone, Wayfarer. We read this one before. And those types we have next within. All have noticed that on each exterior face of it is evolved. Your discovery is invaluable. Two groups typify the two types of mutations, physical and mental. 100 millionth of an aged, unabridged. Magnesia dust has condensed the water vapor. treasure actually might be, but just when my kin and I will return to the famous revolver ruin of House Eisner, where I stored it somewhere 5 parasangs east of Red Rock. That one I've also already read, because I have the ruin of House Eisner. Of shaded blue show, hast thou spoken to the fum by the plasmatic metal of the ape plants, have dwelled in the manifold. His namesake before him roused. Who are you? That's not even how it must be such a case 4.5 inches by 2.5 by 1.25 deep, about the size of an hour, more blue to be not improbable, that the structural form of energy represents some specific form of the battery. The electromotive apparatus cracks the energy which was embodied would be no atomic vibration, therefore no heat and power, the biotic machine apparatus that rejuvenates the weary slumberer. I recognize some of those words. I chime, I speak, 4th edition. If light appears, its antecedent has been rent by trauma and left Cairo with no wind-weird cast, their ship to the illusion of 1,000 years. Wanting, unabridged. I watch over the pale sea. Schemasoft for utility mid-tier. Mid-tier utility. Now I'm wondering, what qualifies as a utility item? Can't think of anything right now. Stabilizer arm locks. Which wind will blow, unabridged? No doubt, the future bear out thy promises. A municipal lave. Drink and friend, Kirka, me. And a shrine to her chef, the coiled lamb of Beetles. One starry evening, a babe was found swaddled with its mouth full of circuits by a group of Beetles in Red Rock. They took him into their fold and fostered him, and he became known as Reshef, the coiled lamb of Beetles. Wait, what do you mean spiral bore? In terms of I should use that, or in terms of is that what I was reading about? Oh, in terms of utility items. Yeah, spiral borer is a Tinker 2 recipe or schematic. That would almost certainly be included in there. Then you probably also have some stuff like the precinct navigator, maybe the hologram bracelet. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Really need to pay more attention to those scrap shovelers. He cracked 2 of my items. Yet somehow I'm still at 10 armor value. Eh. Another shrine to Reshef, the above. While traveling near Bethesda Susa, Reshef lost control of his chariot and drove it off a cliff. Luckily, a local physician named Rebecca came to his rescue. Moved by her kindness, Reshef enrolled at a nearby hospice as her apprentice. Current patients report sluggish response. Understand, I had never seen a tree ring. A grappling gun. And these always seem really neat, but not my kind of thing. Combustion cells. Probably should have kept it and gone to reverse engineer it. Too late for that now. Oh hey, it's Wonder Pip. You doing? And for some reason I wandered right back into the normal gas. I'm gonna be trapped here until I drop a bunch of stuff, aren't I? How about I drop body pack, skulls? What else do I have that's heavy? That. And this. One tile away, then I pick it all back up. Just gonna look at something, but I completely forgot the second I opened the inventory. Must be this. Stun gas grenade Mark II. Eat. Right, 90 points, not enough for anything. The Lair of Shabiv, legendary conjoined Gershlings. Discovered the location of an oil weep. More books. Be kind in kind. In a dissertation on the mount above Almond Porch, the people built a monument to him, and brushed mail hang across his skin. Long fangs break the plain of fur across the pane like stars on a tree could form but little idea of the prophet Ukal's pilgrimage towards Iber. Throat's starting to feel dry. Let me fix that. The book reading shall continue until morale improves. Scholar Abbot Flavian the Learned. At 100, you are willing. And north of the consortium, me, on my head around in search of intruders. The experience, unabridged. Unexpected deviation from the burden that Chrome bears on your map. It's easy to find. Hide as he treated with the holy. The thing snaps and sparks at you. Your dissatisfaction is a measurement of how. You extend. For mathematical purposes, it has just traversed and strikes its projector. He, having matter in the dark electric oven, and with it comes the smell of a leavened pastry, sweet bananas, and warm skull. In riving needle-sharp points, even with a warm and moist air, rises it into a scarlet hex mesh and keyed to its own spilled blood. Keep your mind quick, but don't. Take this key card, go to Nilahind. The shares of that artifact's function what? Or the shores of that artifact's function what? Urk, come this way. Or come to this. Fuck that up twice. Strange tubes. It is a mortar. I forget. Is this just a worse version of the rocket launcher, or does it shoot grenades instead? I have no more ammo for the mortar tube, so it must use missiles. In that case, I don't really need this. Weighs 2.5 pounds, so would be worth to go see if it's worth selling. More books. Thin sharp sound almost too. For example, forked horn helms endear their wearers to both antelopes and goat folk. Pay for yourself, huh? E. I remember too. Shame for I, a man beyond the bland mala soup of my day, is spent chipping and stacking wood, and though you marvel at the chrome cart into golden rectangles. Blades unfold to form molecules. Everything then that possesses gravitative attraction is matter in his scales widen as he steps upon the bleached shore. The mimic as it rushed through the lens distorts as the gun tilts, but the front clouds were gone, and the golden stars denote the spiritual aspirations which its contemplation calls forth. Not complacency, and thee and I. She loved me and others like me to pursue my craft. Herbs, cacti, algae, most. Who knows? I've wondered it myself. It's a graffiti door. Can't trick me. Little is known to take Leadencombe with his contraptions. With weary softness, he still do it. That case, the finger, may you bathe in it. It becomes iron oxide. Enjoy your visit to the hunter and ask which of the biceps and triceps brachii gleam. His sleeves like cuffs. Thank you. No. An injunction was unanimous. Sit, and I used the instrument 12,000 dust particles in the stone relief of the sentient place. I pieced together the location of a fungus forest. As fact that the accident, born of the masterwork pistol ruin of House Eisner, located somewhere 14 parasangs south of the 6-day still, as the story goes. Suddenly I'm wondering if there's a second ruin of House Eisner I can get a hold of. Veins spikes the eye. It is happy, it lies. It's literally free scrap. And I'm out of free scrap. Alright, is this the last floor? Hope it is. That's a Sawhander. What is his name? He is IE30 0D9-7, legendary Sawhander and leader of the people of the Spouse of Shatara. He is loved by people of the Spouse of Shatara. He's hated by goat folk for cooking them a rancid meal, hated by crabs for eating all their fruit, and hated by swine for poisoning their fresh water. You're one dastardly fellow. And now despised by the people of the Spouse of Shatara. Crabs are now indifferent. Swine are now indifferent. Apparently this guy decided he wants to die today. I can oblige. That was rude. What did he even throw at me? The stasis field. There's the box. That one is hard to read. Salt-spangled chain of Tarkavur, bygone hearthstone of scientist. +2 mental armor, +2 willpower. Damn, it's actually good. Have to wear it. Two-handed folded carbide longsword. Very hungry. Gonna cook with fine wafer and star apple. Also add some leech blood and a cursed mushroom cap. Probably not safe to add that second one. Whenever you drink fresh water, there's a 25% chance you heal 15 to 20 health points. As opposed to horsepower. Thrice Folded and Stitched, Volume 3. Take this as thanks, and Little of My Days, 3rd edition. You slurp honey from the dead and deliver it back across a trove of jeweled jewels. Applique Conducts. I am busy, wayfarer. Torches. Or books. Salt Crystal's Line. Take Tao's chime, silent and still. Of rule of thumb troops. What are called upon to consider every atom as being universal. That of Since Burst Like, Volume 10. We owe you so much, Kendrin. I know you do. Illuminated Cucumber Vine Puts. The worshippers of Oborokuru, that wariness has waned somewhat. That reminds me, what's my reputation with apes like? 220, so I need 30 more reputation and I'd be able to go to Mr. Oborokuru. Or I guess that's Saad. wood as unpleasant. As for the Mopongo, will offer you solace and knowledge, and can even be rearranged by some magic spell there was in the tongue of his scheming sons to life. But Afer did not lift a finger or turn her head, but she needs the computing power of the matter of convention. A date that most likely contracted it from the same line of symbolism as that vast amount of displacement, or the luck to find that rain had fallen in large flocks. Air with magnetic. If it isn't the culprit. Let me just take apart a couple of these. Maybe drop that. This one too. A weird artifact. Is a sniper rifle. Don't need those. Combat shoddy. The injection of protean dyes. My credo is, malice alone staineth the sanctity of the gyre. Thou should speak to anyone from here to buy a souvenir to commemorate this historic occasion. Oh, a real-life Kentrin. Here in Ezra, but our sun is 93 million miles from the coast of fuming God Sea. That guy had some stuff. Not crazy stuff, but crazy for a snapjaw. Etch Boundaries of the Rowers, Volume 2. Here we have had the Templar broken so far as it starts to dissipate into air. Old. As a result of the hindering cultivators and the jungles of the breathless men, not the breastless. Of Blueness, 5th edition. If you've nothing you need, and I won't denigrate them, Moon King, live and drink. Again, don't call me that. Fields of La Intil, 1st edition. Offers forward, I initially had no intention of writing any of this waif is the following few days. The trees thinned and the form which goes to scouts to keep a distant reef. And I'm done with this place. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the stilt. I'm gonna hand in every single book I've found so far. See how many levels that gets me. And then probably go complete the Festa Susa. Before that, we have discovered Whitedale, Goatfolk Village. A wrist blade. Kinda tempted to replace a buckler with that. Eh. Two-handed carbide folding hammer. Actually, probably be good. Actually, I already have one of those. I have 2 of them. Need to make a little bit more room. Get rid of acid gas. Get rid of poison gas. Stasis can be good. Sleep gas Mark 1, not so much. Stun grenade Mark 1. Already got Mark 2s. I probably should have gone to Ezra and checked to make sure I had all of these first, but it's fine. Not gonna use those anyway, even if I could make more of them. Then just drop a couple of water skins. Equip that one somehow. And I'm right back to carrying too much. Nothing to preserve. And get rid of these. Another folding carbide, but whatever. There'll be more. Cross Mograyi, Volume 1, The Sunderlies. This is one of those fixed books, isn't it? One day I'll read that book, not today. What's happening? I just drop these. Then set them on fire. Now I go back to pick up some more folding carbide. I don't know why that hermit decided he really wants to do a 4v1 with the goats, but he sure did. Really loud car just drove by, louder than the usual motorcycle, yet it didn't pick up on the microphone. Strange. And there's nearby ruins. Exciting. Discovered Surshapar. There's a lot of cannibals. And right back to carrying too much. What did we get? A freezing club. Drop that right back on the ground. Really not sure what to get rid of. Maybe the jewel encrusted Issachar rifle? Even jewel encrusted, I can't imagine it being worth that much. Maybe it is. Rid of the two-handed folded carbide longsword. Polar stimulators. These could be good, because it's good to have 2 pairs of them. First, would you like to know some more about Reshef? Level 23. Pumping up Two-Hearted. I have 26 toughness. Shield slam. Gonna screw up the muscle memory, but whatever. It has to be done. Give me all the books. It's a lot of books. Right. Sheep. Have some books. But before I do that, make sure I'm not giving away the corpus. Because I think I have one. I don't see it. Whatever. Team's gonna have to think about it for a little bit. There we go. Level 24. Level 25. More fire. Level 26. Level 27. It's a lot of levels. 1 attribute point. I should probably put it into intelligence, but everything else is telling me put it into strength. So I'm gonna put it into strength. Yeah, level that up right now. probably leave that one at 9, just like double muscled, and start leveling up multiple arms. Maybe electromagnetic pulse. So if I level this up, it increases the area and the duration. Cooldown stays the same. Also 500 skill points to spend. Can get 2 of these. Could get stuff in endurance. Could take backswing finally. Even get charge and charging strike, carbide chef. So many options. Carbide chef. Staggering block. Maybe death blocking? Could get charge. Instead I'll get the better shield block. Right, so I guess I don't need to leave this box here anymore. Or neutron flux. While traveling alone through the Rust Wells, Reshef came across a trove of gleaming stars in a bottle. From that day forth, he always kept some stardust on his person. Mortar tube is worth 231. Not sure if that's good or bad. Nearly the same price as the liquid cooled chain gun. It's probably more efficient to sell mortar tubes than it is to sell chain guns, but both of those are probably worse than missile launchers anyways. Using these keys again, even if I have to, well, I can probably just break down the doors at this point. Some bone meal, Hulk honey, reef moss, or neutron flux. Don't think I can afford that one though. Well, maybe. Actually, yeah, I should be able to afford it. Just have to pick what to sell. crazy liquid here. In 6196 before Chef, Polydoc appointed a corrupt administrator as Minister of the Astrologist Theocracy of Kar. She mandated association with mysterious stranger in Polydoc's name. And another one. At the Battle of New Shumor, Yahim fought to liberate Mollusk. She wielded a voltaic pistol with such prowess that became forever known as Voltaicaka, Molluskiv. Really sure I didn't pronounce that one right, but it is fun to say Kaka. These weird artifacts are probably just spray bottles, which I should buy one. You know, just in case. Which reminds me... Yep, corpus is right there. What does my recipe look like? Glowtrot, it is 1 part sap, 1 part salt, 3 parts honey. Simple enough. Then for fungus, need a seed sprout worm corpse. And those are annoying to find. Although, pretty easy to eventually find one as long as you just keep exploring the ruins, I think. One dram of the concoction, which is desalinated slime and slime. Interesting. Probably a water purification tablet. You know, it's funny. People keep telling me I have a nice voice. Yet every time I'm never entirely convinced of it. Though definitely at this point the volume should tell me that yes, I do have a good voice and I should probably invest in it. You know, in the buy a fancy ass microphone kind of way. That'd be nice. More neutron flux. No way can I afford that one. Let's see. Just out of curiosity. Do I have enough? I sell a bunch of injectors, maybe. I'm willing to sell the mortar tube. I really want to sell any of my cooking ingredients. Could sell the chem cells. Actually, yeah, I can afford it. Yeah, my only real fear is my current microphone, despite not being terribly fancy in any particular way, it's just one of those Blue Yeti podcasting mics or whatever that I have set up on an arm. The arm is probably more expensive than the microphone itself, actually, though I wouldn't be surprised if that's a common thing. But yeah, it's just, I'm scared that I'm gonna finally decide, hey, I'm gonna get a new microphone, I'm gonna get a new microphone, it's gonna be basically the same quality, and then it's gonna be like, oh, I spent $300 for basically nothing. Because you can't really know if it's gonna be better unless if someone's willing to lend you one so that you can test it out. And I guess there is also the part where you have to set it up before you really know if it's gonna work well or not. Or maybe I'm overthinking things. There are so many mysteries. Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things I want to do. Get a very fancy microphone setup because I've seen or heard a couple of streamers who have very nice setups. Get basically no background noise. Voice sounds really good, doesn't have any of that, you know, sharp S sounds that mine sometimes has. But I just don't know enough about microphones to really decide. And I should fix that. I'd say yours sounds pretty good. Again, I just kind of feel unqualified on the whole thing, and yet it's so very important. I'm gonna hold on to that mortar tube for now. But I'd basically be going nearly broke. But would I sell some Star Apple? 30 of it. I guess another thing is just a lot to do with how loud you generally are in kind of normal conversation. I tend to be more towards the quiet side, so I had to fiddle around a lot with my microphone settings to get it to something I liked. But that could also just be me overthinking it again. This guy doesn't have anything good. Unfortunate. This guy has cycle gland paste. $10,000 of microphone reviews. That sounds like a very specific type of hell. But yeah, I should probably at least do a little bit of research in there instead of the absolutely freaking nothing that I've done so far. Right, now we go to Bethesda Sus. Eventually. Oil weep and an ink weep. I should have filled up my flamethrower by now. Got 32 drams in it. Yep, that's the maximum that can fit in there. I guess that is a good point. Depends on the exact definition of cheap you're using. Used to be for me that my definition of cheap is if it's built into your headphones or if it's like something you can buy for less than 50 bucks. Yeah, it's probably cheap and it's probably gonna sound pretty terrible. But as soon as you go to like the next bracket above from like 50 bucks to 100, which I've seen a lot of people still consider that to be cheap microphones, you do get a very big boost in sound quality. General trend I've seen though is if it's part of a headset, it's probably not great. Though I'm sure there's plenty of exceptions. Kinda just wandered here without thinking about it, but hey, they actually have stuff for sale. Well, more stuff than usual. I'm not gonna buy any of it. It's a Maono. Don't think I've heard of that brand before. Yeah, I remember my brother having that issue once. He had bought one of those Turtle Beaches headsets for Xbox because he was big on Call of Duty back in the day. So, just had to had one. But from what I remember, it did work pretty good, but out of nowhere, just microphone stopped working, so the whole headset kind of just becomes a big waste of money. Because it's not like you can just replace that one part, unless if you actually know how electronics works, which at the time we definitely did not. Samsung Technologies Q2U. Unfortunately, those words mean nothing to me. I probably should have put away all my neutron flux before coming down here. Anyway, thermal grenade on myself and then run away because I forgot to put my armor on. Oh, is that like a standalone microphone or a headset or earphones? I don't think it was specified at any point. Or maybe it was and then I just didn't see it. Temperature of negative 381. Bleeding all over. Lima. It's not enough. Blame him again. That one worked. Forgot it was chill with crabs. Ooh, discovered the location of Baba Glade, Boatfolk Village. Spring-loaded leather boots. Now, what are those small platinum tubes? Skull conjectors. I remember right, the shade injectors are the ones that... Or no wait, shade oil injectors are the ones that let you have increased agility and sneak around and stuff, and then there was the skull injectors. The names are too similar, I can't remember what the difference is. So skull, shade oil. One of these gives phasing, the other one gives agility, if I remember. Oh, cardioid microphone. Catches sound from tip as opposed to the condenser mic he had. Supposedly better for recording music, I guess. Cardioid sounds like a term I remember seeing about this microphone I'm using right now, which has a bunch of settings on the back, and I think that is the name of the setting I have it on right now, so that it's directional. Which sounds about right. Actually, yeah, that also reminds me that of some advice I remember seeing, I forget from exactly where, that said something about how a directional microphone is really good if you don't want to have to bother with noise suppression filters and stuff like that, because you just point it at your face and that's the only thing it's going to pick up. In theory. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh, right. Caves. It's a spider. You live for today, spider. Ooh, it's a zappy guy. And a juicing cannibal at the same time. At least this one doesn't have a missile launcher. Oh, hey, graffiti. Haven't seen some of that in a bit. Beer's daughter was mesmerized by the Lightener? Lightener? Mesmerized by something. The listener. Yeah, that sounds more correct. Damn, that time it really blasted him. Takes 45 damage from the flames and dies. I think it was already damaged or something beforehand, because the other ones did not go down that easy. But hey, another one. It's been like 5 gyro humors on this floor. What's up with that? Graffiti. You may activate this item for at least 250 feet. It's a lot of feet. Oh hey. It's you. Let me just cook the meal first. Meal of vine wafer and star apple. Actually, cycloclan paste, star apple. and a small stone, and a pebble even. Plus 12 to save versus bleeding, and we get a secret. Sultan Histories of Polydoc I. What was the secret? Said Polydoc I. Guessing it's probably one of the tomb engravings here. Stirred by a treasured prism rescued from a crystal blast furnace, Polydoc visited his workshop and tinkered an artifact. He named it Prismica. It's either that or this one. Let us remember the year of the embraced savior, when, deep in the astrologist theocracy of Kar, Polydoc conquered Twazoshan Nod and gentled the barbaric mysterious strangers who lived there. To prove his knowledge to them, he built a glass gazebo. Alright, now that that's done, hold still while I inject you. Let me just borrow all this fun stuff. Got so much fucking neutron flux now, it's kinda crazy. Here, have a floating glow sphere for your troubles. Rifling through the trash, we piece together clues to determine the location of a Dumbrod hexagram. Ooh, Gyre White. Boots. These are 2, -3, or -2. These are 3, -5. I think that increased my armor value. It's at 14 now. Come back off. 13. Slowly getting up there. I probably didn't have to instantly incinerate that crab. It's too late for regrets. So where the hell's the basilisk? Laser pistol. Painted chrome revolver. In 6 AR, Reshef, the above, Ghost and Cerulean, the coiled lamb of Beetles, died of natural causes. He was 216 years old. Oh, here you are. Are you scary? Wrong button. Here we go. Where are you running? Oh, it's running to go do that. Not very bright, that one. think I got him. Don't need special tools, you just have to have overwhelming force to solve the problem. By solve, I mean violently dismantle the problem. Also, really should make use of that flamethrower. And it equips the backpack slot. Oh well. Probably means I'm not going to be using it very much long term, but I might as well use it now that I have it filled up. Discovered the location of Bonevale, Goatfolk Village. Petit mortal, bring me 3 lacquered items. I shall reward you with a peculiar contraption. I don't think I can lacquer anything. Yeah, definitely not. Recycling suit. Vibro dagger. Alright, gonna go take another short break. Be right back. I have returned. A reminder to everyone to sip your beverage before it returns to room temperature. Oh hey, for some reason very few of these were here this time around. Maybe I've just been running past them. Actually, let me double check. Any other regeneration tanks? Not on this level. Plenty of the healing chairs and stuff like that. Hyperbiotic beds. "26 grams of honey just sitting here on the floor." Oh, guess there really is just not that many, shoot, I already forgot the name. Regeneration tanks. I was kinda hoping I'd get lucky and find one that has some cloning draft in the convalescence. Though I did get a cloning draft from, The Alchemist. So I can start to go after that one recipe as soon as the inspiration kicks in. Oh, there's another one. And it does have what I want. Give me 21 grams of that. Actually, just 20. It's good. Teleported as soon as I walked in. Didn't even get to see what did it. See how you like it when someone throws boulders at you. Also, completely forgot that I was gonna put some spikes on my shields. And right now, there's enemies nearby. How about over here? No point spiking the gauntlet since I'm not going unarmed. Crystal Aegis would be cool, but take up my 6. It's probably worth it. Should I drink the sun slag right away, or was there something else I could make with those? Oh, I use it to repair the golem, but that can wait for later. I'll just drink it right now. Not gonna drink the warm static. Could drink the brain brine. It's more likely to give me something good than something bad, although it absolutely can give me something bad. Fuck it. Location of Forgotten Ruins. The lair of Oborokuru, Vape God. The Cylinder Annulus Shagatara. The Palladium Reef was once called Makun Eid, the place outside itself. Location of Reshef Well, Goatfolk Village. Location of Nabara, Goatfolk Village. And ego is down by 1. So, not the best thing I could have gotten, but it's better than most of those ones where it just gives me a bunch of locations, because at least now I know where the ape god is. This fuller's done. It's a lot of dudes. Someone just tried casting a barrier on me. Well, looks like the crag bench solved that problem for me. What are you even taking damage from? I don't have damage reflection, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I don't. How do I select stuff on the stack while looking? It is the plus and minus on the numpad. I'm not sure if the regular ones also do that. It's flickering like it does, but I don't know. That feature's kind of iffy because, for example, the large boulders, even though there can be stuff underneath it, you can't look to see what's underneath it unless if you pick it up. Hence why I always pick up all the boulders I find. But let me just set up an example. If I have this medium boulder, which I'm gonna drop on the other spot without throwing it there because I don't want to break the herbaries. Where'd it go? There it is. Right, so those two items are there on the ground. I look over at it, and if I press negative, it goes up to the herbaria. If I press positive, it goes down to the boulder. And same thing for the plus and minus on the numbers row. So it should work even if you don't have a numpad. It's just the plus and minus buttons while looking. Yeah, it's probably not going to be a major change, but it does give you one extra way to look at all the stuff on the ground, which is always nice. Who's having a duel or something over here? So you have lacquered semi-auto pistol. Could I trade you for that? No. Oh well. Yeah, another one. That one also has some homogenized convalescence in it. Now that I think about it, this one here is unctuous homogenized algal convalescence. Not sure if that's going to work for my recipe or not. We could just collect some more. And this place is so different when you're at least indifferent with crabs, because you'll just walk into a room to a bunch of crabs standing in a pool of blood and just be like, yo. I mean, what's good a big gold pair of pincers if you're not snapping people in half with them, right? Sawhander. Finally used the flamethrower. Works pretty good. Carbide plate armor. That'd be great if I wasn't already wearing what I am. Saw one of those corners. Go take it out. Polaroid plate mail. Technically better than that last armor I found, but look at that weight. 160. Absolutely ridiculous. Level 28. Swell with the inspiration to name your precinct navigator. If anyone has any good ideas, I'm willing to listen, but you got about 20 seconds to do it. Pip-Boy. Yup, that's a classic right there. The better question is it going to be a 2000 series or a 3000 series? Pip-Boy 100. Alright. Anyone ask? It's a prototype. What kind of fancy coloring do we want? So far, Nectar and Nervous look pretty nice. How about I go with Auroral? And I'm inspired. Well, time to see if I can get the shenanigans started. You know, the shenanigans. The one that you can't mistake for any other. Yeah, our homogenized convalescence, an eminent hatter's left hand, and a hatter's also left hand. At least 2 people died to bring me this meal. And there it is. Porcelain's convalescence broth. Now let the silliness commence. The first one of many. Something exploded over there. Alright, let's start some fire. Immortal, bring me 5 sets of polyhedral rings and I shall reward you with enhanced prowess. Alright, that one's actually pretty straightforward. Might take a while. Oh yeah, these ones actually are sort of permanent. They're not like the Temporal Fugue clones in the sense of they don't have the same equipment that you do. They do have the same mutations that you do, however, but they do stick around until they die. And now that I have that one recipe, I can, as long as I have convalescence, I can keep eating that recipe, keep making more clones, and they take on whatever properties like the mutations and your attributes at the time of creation. So I think I'm pretty darn sure it's Wonderpip that told me that for an Esper character that can dominate and stuff like that is very good because you can have basically backups of your character, like from whichever stage of the game that you're in, or even different creatures and all that, so, you know, shenanigans. Carbide hand bones. Optical techno scanner. Equipment rack. Skillsoft Plus, cooking and catering. Electromagnetic sensor. Dopamine sim. Paper elastic ankle tendons. Looks like I'm done with this floor. Time to go fight the spider. Let me see if I can just slam the door down. Not. I can't slam the wall. My clones seem to be freezing. Oh, something just got unleashed. Or is that one empty? I think it's empty. Alright, crisis averted. Suddenly remember, did I ever, grab the thing from Q-Girl? I've done that before. I did grab the instructions. Alright. Also, I probably shouldn't have bothered making the clones and then bringing them into the cryogenic freezing chamber, because now they're just kind of stuck frozen there. That is some messed up graffiti. Something just happened there. Magnanimous Paladin attempts to slam into the Disciple of the Sightless Way. The Disciple of the Sightless Way dies. The Magnanimous Paladin is stunned. The Cyberneticist is stunned. The Cyberneticist remains stunned. Magnanimous Paladin also remains stunned. So did one of them just slam the guy into the other guy? Why are they suddenly hostile to the guy that always spawns there? Why is there that guy that always spawns there? Sturdy sniper rifle. Cell did I just pick up? More strange tubes. It's a missile launcher. Hooray. Biodynamic cell. Hooray. These ones are actually pretty darn good. Probably not the best place to slot it in right now, but better than nowhere. Flashbang grenade Mark II. Normality gas grenade, also Mark II. Bunch of food. Yeah, if flexi vests are expensive or not. I don't think they're that expensive, but hey, it's free. Alright. See if alternative religious leader here has good reputation. He is loved by the Magnanimous, disliked by cats for worshipping a highly entropic being, and hated by cannibals for eating all their fruit. Could kill him to bring up my reputation with cats, but that doesn't feel worth it. Because then I have to fight everyone here. Not that I don't think I'd win, it would just take a while. Insert disc 1. Alright. I am just going to leave my clones in the chamber above because I don't think I can get them out of there anyway. They're, just part of the place now, I guess. Got the thing. And now he runs off to Barrow room. Hopefully he doesn't get lost this time. What kind of books do you have? Finds use in these historic times. The fear has had seated much to know by a brown-skinned man with sand and soot in his chest are two distinct ways in which these forms of humanoids litter the deserts. I hide in the earliest. You are skilled with long tails tailored to drape across the crooked spine and salient jaw. Display device that gives. I wish I had no means unbeautiful, though it gives an unpleasant thrill. A particularly dark and unpleasant red, almost exactly the same thought stuff as her own. Pinning the crime on an exile standing in my future. Responsibility here that I saw. Live and drink, friend. In thy choice, Delver. There may be underground, but Isepa's mind travels with the honored dead. This apiece. The specters of the Sanctum Warden might as well as a new Hintriarch weren't enough. I hear she's a good and highly advanced man, the thought forms already described, but limited to the splendor of the low. You Can't See Well, Volume 8. When the elements which is cold and dry. Onto adjacent parties, ostensibly. I cannot blame you for a neutronic battery, free from vulnerabilities on the year-weary axe. Cosmo Graye, Volume 1. Not gonna read that. Three-dimensional objects is seriously defective. What was made to follow and strike each other, and extending beyond the skill work of now fossilized carpenters, they must be coaxed along with medicine. Find the creatures. We have nowhere to go but here. Or ruffled feathers. It appears of similar make to the reef came alive and a meadow of underspines administers a subtle therapeutic puncturing. Metal pod marked. Imagine an autumn breeze unlatching an acorn from its injector, thickened in the sight of becoming popular and bearing a good problem to have, I suppose. Yep, I suppose so. Read all those books and he's still not back. Let's wait a bit. There he is. Have to go to Almond Porch. That one's flashing red. Because it's an extra-dimensional hydraulic irrigator. This item recently materialized in this dimension, having inherited some properties from its home dimension, the vacuous ROM. Grant us eyes. Well, I think I'm gonna leave it at that for today. That's gonna be it for this week's stream, depending on how you demarcate your week. Do it by using Sunday as the last day. Some people say it's the first. I do not care to argue about it. But anyways. I've decided when I'm gonna play for Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll leave the rest of the week open. But Tuesday, it's gonna be some more Delta V. Rock collecting extraordinaire. It's not actually the title. It's Rings of Jupiter. Or no wait, Rings of Saturn, not Jupiter. God damn it. Anyway, there will be space, there will be rocks. And then on Wednesday, I'm gonna be playing some more web fishing. Which, anyone in the chat who has the game will be welcome to join. Just have to show up and ask for the code, and I will provide it. And if no one shows up, I'm just gonna fish anyways. And then I haven't really decided on the rest of the week after that, but I don't have to. Actually, let me just look at the calendar real quick. Because I did say I wanted to do that Monster Hunter beta. Which, if I remember right, that starts on the 31st. Huh. Well, if that remains accurate, next week it's gonna be those two games followed by a bunch of Monster Hunter. Unless if I run out of things to do in Monster Hunter, in which case I'll probably do some more, something else. Not gonna say what yet, because I don't want to have to do it. It's a mental thing, you know? Yeah, that is a very good description of it. Something fishing happens. And there will be fishing, one way or another. Anyways, stalling for long enough now. Let's see if there's anyone that I know online. There is. There's two different people I could raid right now, actually. Two very different, very fantastic people. Alright, I decided which one. Let me just get the raid ready, and I'll send you off to someone else who's playing Caves of Cud. Alright. Gonna send you off to go watch some churl. Be polite. And anyways, that's it for today's stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See ya.